All right. Welcome to Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. I'm Frank Morano. John Tobacco getting settled in. He doesn't have the luxury of his own zone, so it takes a little extra work to get him settled. Big thank you to Brett Winterbull, who gave our show a nice endorsement and a nice plug. I have a feeling that's my old friend Brett's way of saying we haven't had him on the show in a while. And message received. Brett, you have an open invitation. You're welcome to come on any day, including today. There's a ton of stuff happening. We broke the story of the impeachment trial beginning yesterday. Well, sort of beginning. Chief Justice Roberts got sworn in as the presiding officer. He swore in the impeachment managers. They're going to be prosecuting this case. And it looks like things are officially going to get kicked off on Tuesday. So we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, still plenty of news to digest in Washington and around the world. The news breaking today is that President Trump is beefing up his legal team as he gets ready for this impeachment fight. Now, listen to this. You talk about the dream team, and actually one of the members of OJ's dream team is going to be on Trump's dream team as well. Listen to this all-star murderer's row of legal luminaries that Donald Trump has put together. Nico, I don't know what that means. What are you doing? You look panicked.
A little bit.
Okay.
You're stretching.
What the heck do you think I'm doing? I am stretching.
I know.
Whenever somebody comes to you in a panicked look and mouthing words that I can't hear, I failed my lip reading 101 class.
Stretch.
All right. President Trump has added Ken Starr. You remember Ken Starr? He used to be the independent counsel. Ken Starr, Robert Ray, and Alan Dershowitz are going to be joining Jay Sekulow and Pat Cipollone as part of the president's legal team. Now, we know Alan Dershowitz is a well-known legal scholar, and the thing that's interesting about him, unlike I think a lot of the others, is Alan Dershowitz didn't even vote for Donald Trump. He voted for Hillary Clinton, but he is so rigid in his defense of the Constitution and of legal processes that he sees what a sham this whole impeachment is. And if there's anybody that I feel good about putting on a case for or against impeachment, it's Alan Dershowitz. John, how are you?
Frankie, I'm doing great. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I was running a little late today. I'm working on an investigative story. And you missed it yesterday. But a world-renowned climate scientist, a geological scientist, a PhD from Oxford, came out with a whole report on global warming, according to the Liberals' #1 issue in the 2020 campaign. Saying that it's the sun and the axis of the Earth and the sun as they move back and forth a little inch away off its axis. The sun is causing global warming and changes, nothing to do with CO2. So my work continues there. So
your belief is we could just put as much carbon dioxide as we want into the air and it will have no effect on anything.
I think that we should be responsible servants of our planet that we're gifted with.
All right.
And we should be responsible about finding cleaner fuels and stuff. Yes, but there is no effect on the weather or the warming of the planet from burning coal and using, aerosol sprays and other things. No effect at all.
Well, there is an effect on our criminal justice system, given the policies that people like Bill de Blasio are implementing, and that is precisely what I am speaking, frankly, about. Well, you probably saw the story over the weekend, the rather tragic story of a 92-year-old Queens woman who was sexually assaulted and murdered. This is a 92-year-old woman, beloved by all in her community. Her name, I believe, was Maria Fuentes. This was the front page of the Daily News this weekend. I think it was on Saturday that they had this front page. Now, the more that we learn about this story, the more disturbing it is. Take a look at this monster, Riaz Khan, who was responsible for perpetrating this tragedy, is the only way that I can describe it. Well, the more we learn about this, it's looking like it wasn't just Riaz Khan that's responsible for this poor 92-year-old woman's rape and murder, but it's New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio and the system. Now, for starters, what did this guy do before he murdered this poor 92-year-old woman? Well, he stabbed his father. Now, he stabbed his father and was arrested for it, but thankfully, due to people like Andrew Cuomo and the people in the state legislature, they couldn't hold him on bail. They couldn't even ask for bail. So he stabbed his father. He's let out right away. Now, that goes hand in hand with what John Tobacco's been talking about for a long time in terms of the folly of bail reform in places like New York. But it gets so much worse. And this is why this woman's murder is, at least in part, attributable to people like Bill de Blasio. What did we learn yesterday? Well, it turns out that Riaz Khan, this monster who murdered a 92-year-old Queens cat lady, was an illegal immigrant in the country illegally. And after he stabbed his father and was arrested, ICE said, hey, New York City, can we have a detainer request? Can we please throw this person out of the country? And of course, New York is a sanctuary city, and we don't cooperate with ICE nor honor their detainer requests, even when someone's responsible for stabbing their own father. Instead, what we do here in New York City, and if you're listening in other sanctuary cities like Chicago, San Francisco, Los Angeles, the list goes on and on, unfortunately, you probably do the same thing. What we do here in New York City is we don't honor a detainer request. We have a federal government begging to send murderers out of the country back to where they came from because they're not in the country illegally anyway. Instead, what we do here in New York City is we let them go in order for them to kill people.
So here's two different things, Frank. You got a ridiculous bail reform now here in New York and spreading across the country where in New York, judges don't even have discretion. So here's a guy who stabbed his dad. When they figure it out, oh, he's illegal. Sanctuary City Bill de Blasio lets him go before ICE gets there to get him. Then he gets arrested again. ICE wants to take him out of the country, and they don't give him the detainer. So you got bail reform and Sanctuary City, two progressive liberal policies that are creeping into cities and towns all across the country. And you got basically an illegal alien.
Not basically, very much
Literally,
an illegal alien.
Illegal alien stabbed his dad, killed an American citizen, and we still couldn't get this guy out of the country.
Yeah, maybe when he finishes his life sentence for murdering this 92-year-old woman, maybe we can see what
now
happens.
This one they can hold him on, right?
Yes,
the murder,
you kill someone,
it does qualify
if you kill
as a violent
someone
crime
in New York
still,
City,
right?
even that, we will not let you out of prison or let you out of jail. Yeah,
You know, this is like a classic case, right, for Donald Trump to really weigh in and say, this is why we need ICE.
Well, the acting Department of Homeland Security, Chad Wolf, has already weighed in, and he said this is, and he's absolutely right, and I agree with the Wolf man on this one. He said this is a completely preventable tragedy. Had they honored the ICE detainer request, this never would have happened.
Horrible.
That is absolutely right.
Horrible. Frankie, the market, I didn't give my little update in the beginning. The market's at 29,300 as we speak. The Dow was on fire this morning, pulled back a little bit. The key indicator you got to know about, I've been talking about this for 2 weeks now, a close above 29,000 on a Friday probably rockets the market over 30,000. We're at 29.3. Unless something crazy happens before the end of the day today, I think we're in store for way better news coming next week. And new housing starts are at a 13-year high right now.
Wow.
So, which is a good sign because, as you may know, housing may not last forever, but rates are low, so more people can get access to money for mortgages. And when they put the shovel in the ground to start digging a foundation for one new house, there's like hundreds of collateral jobs that are created. And housing starts is a great indicator to keep your eye on when you're looking at what indicators might push the market to higher levels. Probably means employment's going to be good. More people are going to have disposable income. More people are going to have more money in their pocket to go out and spend. Consumer spending probably goes up. All these things great for the market. And by the way, in just a few short years, the Dow Jones is up about 60% under Donald Trump. Yeah, 60% under Donald Trump. You know, when you say, you see those Capital One commercials that say, what's in your wallet? What's in everybody's wallet as far as stocks and portfolios are concerned is a lot more than 3 years ago when Barack Obama was here. And I also pointed out in the Monday Morning Quarterback, my Monday morning newsletter, that 8,500 was my next place where I wanted to see some stability in Bitcoin. Bitcoin, as we speak, 8,800 and change. Above 9, forget about it. The double digits are right at hand. So the financials are looking great right now, Frank.
Wonderful. Well, that's good to hear. And hopefully that continues for a long time. At the
We
very
got
least.
some fantastic guests coming on today. Fernando Uribe is going to be here a little later on. He's the host of Politically Correct via Insider. And we have Chris Carter coming on a little later on in hour 2, the CEO of Aproyo. And David Pietruzza, my favorite presidential historian. Last time he was here, he gave us a little rundown on the
Christmas truce. Yeah, maybe we could ask him a little bit more. Since 1917, it's such a big thing now. We can ask him a little bit more about.
Absolutely. Whopper of a show coming up for you today. It is a Freaky Friday, and Liquid Lunch is open for business. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back right after this with more Liquid Lunch.